Welcome back to Coffee and Candor. This is Brandy.
Amber.
Chris.
And we're going to talk about medicines and side effects and how medicines are marketed in commercials and all that. So, Ross is a type 2 diabetic, and
We're starting the HIPAA violations early.
I don't give a fuck. They know all my dirty secrets. Not all of them, but most of them.
Okay.
And so he's been on metformin for years, but he didn't take it the way he was supposed to. And in the last,
Well, that really defeats the purpose of being on it.
yeah, but in the last 6 months or so, he's gotten really good.
This is my podcast, motherfucker. I don't need permission.
Gotten really good about taking his medicine finally. And so he had been on something else with the metformin called glimepiride or whatever. They took him off of that and put him on this new drug that you see commercials for all the time. And
I try not to see commercials for anything.
Well, I don't know how you miss them because and this lady,
kind of obnoxious.
yeah, this lady's dancing.
I stay away from new medicine. I'm like, it needs to be at least 10 years old before I take anything.
Totally.
She's dancing and she's singing and talking about how great life is.
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing.
And the
Like
whole
those tampon
thing,
commercials.
oh
where they're
god!
just-
And they talk about,
Those are funny, though.
and then when they talk really fast and they give you all the reactions,
Yeah, it may cause
Bit of that
anal
anal
leakage
leakage.
and they say something
migraines
about
and death.
peritoneal infections.
Perineal,
Yeah,
because it's your perineum.
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 Um,
It's your taint.
yeah.
In case anybody doesn't know, that's your
grundle, fromunda,
your gooch. The space
fromunda carriage.
between.
But so this lady, I'm just scrolling through TikToks, and let's see if I can find it. And this lady's like talking about, she's like, if you take this medication, beware. Oh, it'll be in what I sent you. Huh, that'll be easy. And I'm like, what's all that about? And so she's talking about.
So
Yes.
would that be like a dermatitis type infection?
I'm just going to play the TikTok. You can just hear her talking about it. And
For anybody who takes diabetic medication, my father passed away this week. It was caused by his diabetic medication. He was on metformin for years and years and years. He had no issues with his metformin. This last year, his doctor changed him over to a new medication that's out, starts with a J. I'm sure you've seen the lady singing and dancing.
Jardiance.
And one of the side effects to this medication is called foreigner's disease. It is a flesh-eating bacteria,
Ugh.
gangrene, that eats you from your genitals inside out.
How in the fuck is that a side
See
effect?
symptoms? It's pretty much too late. Most people who get it pass away. I have been doing some research on it over the last couple of days.
And how did that get approved?
Right.
Class action lawsuits out there, but don't wait. Don't wait. One of the first side effects is a yeast infection, and most men don't watch for yeast infections.
I mean, as a man, how
Hell,
would
most
you
women
know?
don't watch for yeast infections, but men really don't. So, do yourself a favor. If you or someone you know is taking diabetic medication that starts with a J and has a singing and dancing commercial, please talk to your doctor about foreigners. Because once you know you have it, it's too late.
Yeah, I don't understand how a flesh-eating bacteria can be a side effect.
Oh, pill.
First of all, that's fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's heartbreaking. And the fact that by the time you see a problem,
Yeah.
it's too fucking late. Like you're already,
Yeah.
and the fact that it, like she said, most men wouldn't know if they've got a yeast infection because most men don't get yeast infections.
Yeah, I mean, what
They-
are the symptoms of a yeast infection in a guy?
Well, I even looked it up because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean, how would you know as a
And
guy?
I looked, and basically,
Itching, burning, stinging, I guess.
like it showed the head of some guy's dick, and it had like just like little I won't say white bumps because it wasn't like that, but you could see like irritation with little bitty white patches.
But here's the thing. She showed me that picture. It wasn't. It wasn't like neon sign. Oh God, there's something.
No, it
Right.
couldn't. You would
very
have,
subtle.
like, if I was a dude and I never had a yeast infection, I would think, wow, I was out in the yard and I got really, really sweaty.
Right, like a
and it
heat
got
rash or
irritated,
yeah.
right? Because it wasn't like when a woman's got a yeast infection, it's pretty.
Yeah, you know it.
There's no
Well,
doubt.
I mean, a lot of you, and I hate to say it like this, but a lot of your stuff is inside. So if you have sensations, you know there's something going on inside. Our stuff is external.
Right.
I mean, you wear a different pair of pants one day and it's rubbing or
Yeah.
something like that.
You wouldn't think something internally was going on.
To me, even the picture on Google of what a man with a yeast infection looked more like sweat and heat, you know. How your skin can get kind of irritated from being in sweat a long time.
So I'm going to make a statement. I'm not sure if it's right or not. Y'all let me know. The ingredients for a yeast infection occur naturally in y'all's body, right?
If our
Okay.
pH gets off.
All right. Flesh-eating bacteria does not.
Right.
So
That's why I
what-
don't understand how those
Yeah,
two are.
that's what I'm saying. How the fuck is that a side effect?
I don't
when,
understand that.
I mean, I could see an aneurysm.
Like, what are they putting in that shit?
or any or
Right.
something that weakens an internal
All I can think
structure.
of is
but
maybe-
that is an external thing. That's not floating around our fucking taint.
The
just
only thing I can
willy-nilly.
think
I
of
mean,
is that
It's hanging around down
something
there right now.
something that normally you wouldn't be susceptible to,
Right.
it messes with the chemistry so it has a chance to take hold. That's the only thing I can think of.
well, I would like to know where that bacteria comes from and how to neutralize it. I'm not on any kind of medication, but I'll do that anyway.
You were talking about something the other day that changed. It was some medicine or something that changed. Oh, I can't think what it was. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Are you talking about Ozempic decreasing the
Yeah, that's what I think you're talking
the
about.
effectiveness of oral birth control?
No.
By the way, Ozempic is being shown to decrease the effectiveness of oral birth
Yeah,
control.
we just heard this like 53 or 57-year-old woman
53.
pregnant with twins.
Well,
You got nothing to worry about.
I got no cervix, I got no uterus, I got no ovaries,
I wish they'd yank everything out
I
of
got
me.
no nothing.
Yeah, I don't think a total hysterectomy is really covered under the what's
Gotta have something going on to get it taken out.
Yeah, that's not an elective procedure.
Well, I'll tell you what I had to have to get done. I had cysts, and that was enough for them to yank it.
Well, yeah, but she doesn't have anything.
I thought she had cysts.
I've had cysts in the
She's
past.
had one, but not like
Not like
PCOS or
recurrent,
anything
all
like
the
that.
time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had like recurring. They every time they would, do a scan, they'd find more.
I mean, I think the last time I had cysts, I think that was kind of an accidental find.
like when they were looking for other stuff.
Yeah. Which I haven't been to the doctor in a while, so
You need to get yourself checked.
I
because
know it.
It's awful.
It's just like I had a doctor for a long time, and then she retired, and then I went to someone else, and then she moved to a different hospital. Then I was just like,
Well,
fuck it.
And gynecology appointments are so.
You hide your underwear, don't you?
Huh? Yes.
Like, why do we do that?
I don't know. Like you're gonna stick your whole face up in my
Like, there's a
cooch.
thing, like,
But I
why
put-
do women hide their underwear in the...
When you have to go to the gynecologist, you take your underwear off and then you put your pants and your purse and everything on top of it so they can't see
Or
your
you
drawers.
stick it in the pocket of your pants so they don't see it. I don't know. It's
I don't know. I
we
don't
have
know
a
because
thing
she's
against...
fixing to crawl head first into my vagina.
We have a thing against them seeing our underwear.
No, I don't. I honestly don't know, but I do it.
If
Every
I
time.
have a skid mark, then the doctor's got worse problems.
Well, yeah, if I've got skid marks, I'm throwing them
I
away.
mean, Chris, I don't know about you, but I mean, if
I don't go to the
Well,
gynecologist.
what I'm saying is, let's say you go to another doctor and they're gonna look at your junk. If they're already looking at your junk, I don't give a shit if they see my underwear.
Yeah.
It's a thing we do, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, I don't, because I've never really thought about it till now.
Yeah, I think I saw a TikTok or something. I was like, oh yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I was just thinking about that. The last time, this is gonna sound weird. The last time that I remember a doctor looking at my manly bits was when I was going into basic training
Well,
in
How old are you
1997.
now?
It's coming
Chris?
up, Chris.
45. Oh yeah, it is the year of our Lord. No. It is the year of our Lord 2024.
You didn't answer the question.
And the best way to check for a prostate enlargement is to finger my asshole.
Or they could stick a wand in there, like they do us.
yeah.
I know you like it.
Or, and here's an idea. How about a sonogram? How about an ultrasound? How about anything but violating my asshole?
Guess
Well, I'm
what?
just gonna-
If they were going to do a sonogram, they'd stick the wand up your ass like they stick it in our cooch.
Yeah, but things are made to go in your cooch. Or your cooch is made to accept things going in it. My asshole is not. That's not how God
Things
intended
come
it.
out of
I'm
it.
gonna give you a hint.
Yeah, that's the other direction.
I'm just saying it expands.
It is a
That is a shitty thing.
it is a way station of sorts where transfers can take place.
Well, when you go looking for a doctor for that, look at their hands.
Yeah.
You
Little
don't want a
bitty
motherfucker with
hands.
big
You don't
old.
want somebody with like sausage fingers.
Motherfucker, your hands look like kielbasa's. No. No.
No, Shaq.
Your ring size is 80. I don't think so, motherfucker.
I just remembered that I was last time I got my what's it called, mammogram.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
They told me that I needed to make an appointment for my gynecologist and colonoscopy.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Colonoscopy.
Oh my
I
god.
didn't do either.
Because you
I need to do that.
already, you're primed for a
Did
colonoscopy.
he just say? No, did he just say he's 45?
Yep. And he needs his prostate checked.
Yep. You
All
got
right.
Just gonna start chasing him around.
We can make a couple's appointment.
No,
Hold
thank
hands on
you.
the table.
One of us has to drive home.
y'all get home, man.
No.
I had to do all that.
We can face each other while they're.
I had to do all. As a matter of fact, they went 2 different appointments. They went down my throat.
Well, they
They just violated
hemmed
his
you up like a set of Chinese finger cuffs. They Eiffel Towered you.
After looking at my shit, they were like, you're good for 10 years.
Well,
Oh,
you
wow.
shit 8 times a day,
So yeah.
But
I ain't never met a motherfucker more regular.
God, I was on that thing, and both times it was the same anesthesiologist because she recognized me. But
I've seen you
He had
inside
a
and out,
he,
mister.
he had a group on.
I swear to God, they had me on that table, and she was talking. Next thing I know, I wake up and Brandy's right here in my face, and I'm like, "How the hell did you get in here?"
I mean, it made
The
me
door.
Like, you're done. They've already done it.
And the nurse looked at me like, who the fuck are you? He don't recognize you. And I'm like, his wife of 30-something years? What did you do to him back there?
See, they do have, and again, it is the year of our Lord 2024, Anno Domini. We can send information across the globe in literally less than a second. We should be able to look at my colon without taking a video camera to it.
Well, all I know is
Actually, they do have it.
4K though.
Oh, awesome! They do have this little
Dolby Digital.
fucking
The pill.
Dolby Atmos and shit.
The camera pill.
Yeah, they have a camera pill. Apparently, it's a pretty significant sized pill.
That
But-
reminds me, because
but
I think he's the one that went to China and did that. Did you hear what's his name? That did the McSize or whatever.
Oh, the
Spurlock.
Yeah, he
Morgan
died.
Spurlock.
Oh, really?
He died today of cancer.
I did not know
Oh
that.
my God, for real?
Yep.
Well, I guess none of that shit that he's talked about worked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What
I don't
kind of
think,
cancer?
I don't think they said.
Well, I think that's fucking important. Mm-hmm. Actually, I guess it's not important because I mean he was.
Hey, it's butthole cancer.
Supersize Me. That was the name of it.
Yeah. Well, all right. So he did
That's what-
Supersize Me. He did Forks Over Knives. He did or Forks Over Spoons or Spoons Over Knives, whatever the fuck the name of it was.
Farrah Fawcett died of anal cancer.
Yeah, she died of butthole cancer. But I mean, he was like super healthy, and
I don't want to die in such a way that, like, if somebody says butthole cancer, they're like, oh, Brandy. That's sad. I don't like that.
you know, I mean, but he was like a hardcore vegan and all of this other shit, and it didn't change anything.
Something's going to kill you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You
we're
know.
all heading to the same place, but I'd rather not fucking have butthole cancer.
Well, I don't.
I'd rather not have any kind of cancer.
I was going to say, I
but-
don't know. I mean, apparently he had cancer, but I think we're just assuming.
No, but
It
Farrah
makes-
Fawcett
you know what it
did.
means. Yeah, Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett really did have butthole cancer. I don't
You know what
he
it means
had.
when you assume it makes an ass of me and you.
Yeah,
And
and one of the asses
yeah.
might have
Eh,
cancer.
But like going to the gynecologist, it's just really, it's a mind fuck. It's like, you're like, have you ever heard that this one woman, she had a gynecologist appointment and she was running late and she was going to freshen up her lady bits and she saw a rag on the counter and
Just assumed that was the one to use,
yeah, and scrubbed her lady bits with it and ran out the door.
and it was bleach.
No, it had glitter in it. For my kids.
That's awesome.
So when her doctor got down there, they were like, really appreciate the extra effort you went to, you know.
But I can't get this shit off of me, and I've got to go home eventually.
Yep, you've got that for life now.
Could you imagine trying to explain that to your wife? Like, what? How was your day today? Like, well, I need to tell you what happened before you find out for yourself.
Yeah, because I now have somebody's lady bit.
Yeah, I have pussy glitter on me,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how to get it off because it won't come off.
Oh my God.
You know,
But you know, it's, you know, back to what we were originally talking about. First of all, it's terrifying that that's a possible side effect of an approved medication.
Yeah, I mean, how is that okay?
oh, I'll tell you.
Well, only 2 out of 1,000 people had that happen to
But
them.
if you, great.
No,
but if you're
no.
one of those two, that is.
Well, so here's the thing. It has to be statistically significant for it to even be listed,
If
right?
it happens to me, that's statistically.
And everybody says that about themselves. But when you're talking about a study of say 10,000 people and it happens to 2, that's not.
Fuck that.
But the problem is it was statistically, that is a hard phrase to say, statistically significant enough where they had to report it to the FDA and list it as a known side effect. That's a fucking problem. But you said, how did it get approved? I'll tell you how it got approved. Money, 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 money. Because those motherfuckers, the chairman of the FDA worked for Big Pharma, and when he leaves his post, he'll work for Big Pharma again. And it's like that every single time. Just like the head of the USDA always works for Monsanto. Every one of them, either on the board or the general counsel or fucking something,
Well,
either before or after they're in.
Ross
And it's
will not be taking that pill anymore.
oh, I wouldn't either.
Well, that's why I never got the shot, because that shit came out way too quick to be tested on it.
Oh,
Side
yeah.
effects.
So many. I mean, if you listen to or see any commercials for any medication, there's so many of them. What was it that I used to say? Oh, and sudden death. I can't remember what.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking all kinds of heinous shit. You know,
Anal
And-
leakage.
Yeah, well, anal leakage, while it is embarrassing and uncomfortable, I'm sure.
Because let me tell you, I've had anal leakage from medicine. It looks like chili grease coming out your ass.
And I'm sure that I know that that's embarrassing, not from experience, but I can guess. But when you start getting into these sudden heart attacks, sudden strokes for no
Aneurysm.
fucking reason, you know, all of these just random things that only happen because of a glitch in your body chemistry one day, you know, that's scary.
I saw a funny ass video. Brandy wasn't so she didn't think it was that funny, but it was if Gen X became president,
It wasn't from Saturday Night Live. It was Mad TV.
I was on Mad TV, and one of the things was the guy was like, "Oh God, I bet it's a shit show." And the guy was like, "No, it's actually pretty good. You've done some pretty cool things. One of them was to cure cancer." Really? How did I cure cancer? Well, you took 7 of the most richest and powerful business owners in the world
And gave them cancer?
And within 4 months, we had 5 cures for cancer.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, well, the only time anyone from Gen X is going to be president is when all the boomers are dead.
Dead.
That's the only way. Because those motherfuckers refuse to go quietly into that good night. They won't fucking retire. We don't need an octogenarian in Congress or in the Supreme Court or in the White House or any fucking where. They need to have a maximum age to be a public servant.
There's a minimum age.
And that maximum age needs to be the Social Security retirement age. You know?
On Morgan Spurlock, all I could find was complications of cancer, but they also said he was a bad alcoholic.
Oh, really?
Oh, so he
And that
coulda
during
had-
Super Size Me, he wasn't reporting that he was drinking during that time.
Oh, well, that's a whole different
Yeah.
thing then. Because alcohol is horrible for you.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, no, it is. There's not a cell in your body that alcohol is good for.
no.
That's what gets me, you know. Alcohol just and don't get me wrong, I'm not against drinking. I drink on the rare occasion. But alcohol is horrible for your body. It is addictive. People do stupid shit. It's responsible for more deaths than I think. What is alcohol related incidents are like the third or fourth leading cause of death in this country. But weed is illegal.
Yeah.
You know how many people have died from overdosing on weed? Not one, not ever in the history of the world. And anybody that says, this is important, anybody that says otherwise is fucking lying. I heard a guy perjure himself, and actually watched it, in front of a Senate committee because they asked him point blank, do you have, how did they word it? It was something
Any
to the general effect
death-related
of, do you have proof that anybody died directly from marijuana use? And this guy said, well, we have some instances, and that was a lie.
But
And-
there was also alcohol and stuff involved in those
Right.
instances.
well, that's not what the guy asked either. And if
Alcohol and
and
other
if I was that
drugs.
senator, right then I'd have said, you are under arrest. We are prosecuting you for perjury because I know for a fact that's a fucking lie.
At the very least, he should have made him cite those sources.
Yeah.
One of the funniest drug-related things when Viagra first came out, all the commercials used to say, if you experience an erection more than 4 hours long, seek professional help. Now, if you listen to them, all of them say seek medical help.
yeah, because they didn't say what kind of professional.
Well, I used to
Right, like
advertise
professional help.
Professional help, I'd be like, that'd be a prostitute. wouldn't it?
If you've got an erection and it lasts 4 hours or more, come see me.
Yeah, but well, and I didn't know this for a long time, but the reason is when the veins expand, the capillaries actually stop. There's so much expansion. The capillaries stop the blood from draining out.
Yeah, it makes priapism,
Yeah, and
which
so
can be real
yeah,
bad.
and that's a problem.
Yeah.
But it was funny that the apparently the VA was one of the testing things for Viagra when it was a heart medication.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you know they were running their tests and everything, and apparently once, because it wasn't just the VA, it was the VA, and it was I think Pfizer and some other fuckers, and people started having heart attacks because it'll do that, and so they called all these vets that were in the study, and they said, hey, we need you to stop using that and bring it back to us. And they were like, oh, fuck you. They were like, what do you mean? It was like, they were all like, we've got the biggest boners of our lives. And it was like, but you could have a heart attack. They were like, we don't fucking care.
Gotta go sometime.
Yeah, you gotta go sometime.
What a way to go.
So, yeah. I actually heard that story from an ER doc that was on it.
It's funny.
Yeah, he was cracking up when he told me, but or maybe it was UAMS in conjunction with the VA. I don't know. It's one of those. But yeah, they wouldn't give him back. It's like, well, shit. I don't know which. Hope for the best, I guess.
Didn't think that through, did you?
Yeah, well, mark it in their chart. We told them they wouldn't do it. So, all right, what else we got?
That's all I got. So,
Okay.
I've got this one. It was the death of a woman who fell from the bleachers at the Ohio State University's commencement over the weekend. This was several weeks ago,
she
though.
killed herself.
Is being investigated as an apparent suicide.
How tall are those bleachers?
Larissa Brady, 53, was attending her daughter's graduation ceremony with her husband and 12-year-old son, which told her family she wanted to get a higher seat in the Ohio State Stadium. Witnesses reported seeing Brady pass the highest row of bleachers, climb over the top of the concrete wall at the top. Brady had previously suffered mental health issues and attempted to end her life earlier this year. The incident went unmentioned by speakers or officials during the 3-hour ceremony, disturbing some students who witnessed the fall. The coroner's office has yet to officially release the cause of death.
So she thought that was the
Why
best
would
time
she
to
do
that.
it there?
Right. Like, not only traumatize her children, everyone's children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no shit.
I thought that, and I know you're not supposed to say this, but I thought that was extremely fucking selfish.
Oh, yeah. Well, suicide is always selfish, but
You know, I thought I was appalled when I read that because I was like, oh my God. I mean, I don't see how that couldn't have been seen from that child's perspective as just a big fuck you.
oh, yeah, definitely.
You
Of course,
know?
she doesn't fucking care.
No, but you'd think, you know.
What do y'all think of King Charles' portrait?
I didn't see the problem with it. I thought it was kind of neat looking.
Really?
Yeah, from like just an artistic standpoint.
From
But
an
it's not
artistic
suppo-
standpoint,
it's
I
not-
don't mind it.
It's
But
not
for-
supposed to be an artistic piece.
Yeah, for
it's a
a-
royal portrait.
Royal portrait?
Yeah, okay.
It's,
don't
it's
think-
not some abstract thing.
But apparently, you don't know a lot about royal portraits
I
because
know what they look like.
and none of them are like.
No, it's not supposed to be like a fucking photograph, but it's not supposed to look like someone threw up blood all
Is
over.
standing in hellfire.
Yeah.
That's not what I see. I just see like prismatic colors and butterflies, and
There's one butterfly, and it's red, just like the rest of the picture.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't understand the fuss.
I
Who cares?
well, ultimately, I don't care because I'm not British, so I don't have to care about their shit. But I think that for a position whose entire reason for existence is tradition, he kind of fucked the puppy. Or the artist did. I don't know if he told him to do that,
Yeah.
or if the artist said, "Ha ha, fuck you, buddy."
I don't know if it has something to do with his impending mortality because you know he has cancer.
Yeah.
Well, and not only he, but his daughter-in-law, Princess Kate, has cancer. Mm-hmm. That whole thing where she was, you know. and they
What
were
kind of
saying all
cancer
that
does she have?
Abdominal. That's all we know.
He
Yeah,
has
they-
like is it lymphoma or
I don't know because they found his when they were doing like a colonoscopy
huh?
because he had gone in for routine. Is what my understanding is.
There you go. Even the King of England has told me to colonoscopy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
If they'd
yeah.
have found it sooner, he'd have had a cure for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Windsors are one of them top
Oh,
families
yeah.
that you don't get to know their net worth. But it's in the trillions.
But yeah, apparently hers is some sort of abdominal. So I don't know if the problem was, you know, because they were so cagey about it at first, about she'd gone in for a surgical procedure, and I wondered if she was having like a hysterectomy, which I can see where. I don't know why, because she's got the air, she's got the spare, and got one more. She's
I
got
thought they had
3.
4.
Maybe they do have 4.
I don't know.
I was thinking 3.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4. The air and the
Princesses
spare
are supposed to have an air, a spare.
and a tertiary.
Yes, baby.
I was like, huh? Spare?
An heir to the throne, a spare heir.
in case they die. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In
Really.
case the first one goes flat.
Well, like King Henry VIII.
You can't quote.
He was not even supposed to be king.
What number was he?
He was number 2. He was the
Oh, he was the backup?
baby. He was the spare.
Okay.
He was the baby brother.
That was Marie Antoinette's husband.
No. Catherine of Aragon. He's the one that had the 6 wives and offed most of them.
Oh, that's right, because he couldn't get divorced.
Yeah. Well, he like broke with Rome and created the Church of England because he wanted
to have shit his own way. Yeah.
because he wanted to divorce Catherine of Aragon. Then he got Anne Boleyn pregnant, made her queen, and she had Elizabeth the First because Catherine of Aragon had a living daughter, Mary, but she had also miscarried a prince. And then when Anne Boleyn miscarried a prince, it was done for her. And
Well, he just don't fuck around.
This bitch is defective. You're
Yeah.
right.
You are broken.
and
Time to retire
like,
you.
he had it put around, and it was all like manufactured.
Oh, yeah.
Like put it out that she was fucking her brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
She wasn't.
Well, I mean, probably not.
You don't know.
I don't think she was. They were close, They were.
Really close.
Oh my God, you're gross. But
Help me, step prince.
and so he had her beheaded.
Yeah.
Then Jane Seymour was his queen, and she gave him the prince.
She was a pretty
he
good
looking
actress.
for. And then she died of childbed fever. So I think by the time the prince was less than a month old when she died.
She probably had a taint infection.
Probably got those flesh-eating
I could see it back then.
painters.
Oh, absolutely.
And so then it was Catherine Howard.
Thought you were gonna say Catherine.
Catherine Howard was the next. No. Then it was Anne of Cleves. And now I don't know if you've seen
I haven't.
portraits of King Harry. He was
a big
big fat ginger fuck, right?
Oh my God.
He's seen portraits.
I probably have.
Yeah. And so I mean, and like by the time he got his
Which Henry?
Henry VIII, by the time he got his prince and that one died, he had like gotten hurt in a jousting accident and like had this ulcerated weeping wound that just ran with pus for years.
Jesus. He looked
They
like
said
Dom
you could
DeLuise.
You could smell him like across the road. Yeah, you look like Dom
I know who he
DeLuise.
looks like. Everybody knows who he looks like.
You make me sad.
And so yeah, he stank to high heaven.
Ew.
He had to be put in a basket.
Yeah.
No, that was
was rich.
an embroidered cod piece that he wore, so it would look like that.
I was kidding.
But no, you should see some of the royal portraits. He has this
I mean, all
dong piece.
All I'm saying is, looking and smelling like that. How the hell did he get on?
He was the
He
king.
owned all of England.
Yeah,
He could literally have them killed if they wouldn't fuck him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did.
I don't think the women really had a choice either.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
probably went something like this. Go get her.
Yeah. And so, like, he had to be hoisted. They had to have a hoist
By
to
his
get him up
cod
the
piece.
stairs.
That's what that dong piece was.
Yeah, it was where they attached.
Yep.
Yeah.
It had a hook on the underside like a Prince Albert.
So then when he sees Anne of Cleves, which was a princess from Germany, he was like, I like her not. She stinks. And
Think you're smelling yourself,
Wow.
there,
yeah.
dude.
And so they never consummated their marriage. And he basically told the whole world that she was so ugly he couldn't get it up.
She's stanky.
Wow.
Now, he really said that. He wrote this in like official letters.
The England newsletter.
Yeah. And so she was a very smart woman.
Yeah, she got out good.
Yeah, she made out better than any of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said to her, I want out of this marriage. She said, I'll do whatever you want. And he said, how about we say you're my sister, and I make you a princess of England, and you get houses, and you get an income for the rest of your life, and our marriage was never consummated, so nothing ever happened between us, and we just go our merry ways. And she said, you betcha.
Yeah. Can I get that in writing, sir?
And she did. And she outlived all the others. So then there was Catherine Howard. She was only like 16. And he found out that she had been deflowered
Oh,
before he came along.
Did she, or did you just make that shit up?
No, she had been raised in the Howard. The Howard they were a dynasty, and they had a lot of orphan children because people getting killed and shit. And they had like this one grandmother that had this castle, and she raised all the orphans. And apparently she didn't watch them very good because they had like fuck parties and stuff.
Jesus.
And that's fine until you're going to be the Queen of England. And
then they tend to look down on that shit.
And so he had her beheaded for that. And then Catherine Parr was the last one. She outlived him. But can you now look? You imagine this big old motherfucking guy that has to be hoisted around.
Leaving a pus trail.
Yeah, like a snail trail
trail.
of filth
Snail trail
and
of
pus,
pus.
and he stinks. And come on, hygiene couldn't have been good in the first fucking place.
Nope.
Probably not.
But they thought you were courting death, and I'm not being funny. If you bathe more than once or twice a year,
What was that we were
Jesus.
watching the other day? And she was like, telling the guy, well, you want to take a bath? And he's like, more than once a week?
I don't remember. But yeah,
I'll tell you what though, if I was King Charles though, I'd be pretty fucking pissed about that because he's only gonna be king for like a year or two because his goddamn mother lived to be
forever.
150 fucking years old and wouldn't. She could have when she turned
She could have
80.
abdicated
She could
at
have
any
said, "You
point."
know what? I'm stepping down. Here you go, motherfucker."
Well, here's the thing. I think she wouldn't because she knew her son was a fuck up.
It's a ceremonial position.
I mean,
He
still,
doesn't. The crown doesn't have any real power. All they do is wave their wands around and collect fucking money.
I mean, no, they don't have power like we think of it here, but they still do wield great influence.
Yeah,
With
but they
the
don't have
people
any.
especially.
But like they don't do any kind of foreign policy stuff. They don't do anything that's economically impactful other than collect their taxes. I mean,
You know,
but yeah, she should have retired when
Yeah.
she was 75.
well, she wanted that longest reigning monarch title, and she had to.
She
beat out-
already had it.
She had to beat out Elizabeth I for it because she reigned until Elizabeth II. Elizabeth I was the longest reigning,
Okay, how long was that?
57 years.
And how long was?
How long did Queen Elizabeth reign?
Because Jesus, she got coronated.
In
When-
World War II.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
I mean, she was in her, if I'm not mistaken, in her early 20s.
Oh, that was her.
Who was 12? Was that the first
52, 1952 into to 2022. 70 years.
That's fucking dumb.
How long did Elizabeth I reign?
What'd you say, hon?
one? So wasn't one of them like 12? It must have been the first one.
I don't know. I know that
Oh,
you.
no. Elizabeth I reigned for 44 years.
Huh.
So she had
had
her
her
by
by
almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, so you saw really young ones in Greece with the Caesars.
France.
You did in England, too.
In Egypt with the pharaohs.
When Henry died,
I mean,
his
back
son was
then
only
they were all everywhere. They were young.
his son was only 3 years old, and he was ruling. I mean,
Yeah. And wasn't King Tut was like 14 when he
Yeah, he was
took
real young.
over as pharaoh?
Maybe been younger than that.
I think Romulus Caesar was in his early teens, maybe just before.
But that's
and
also
he was the last Caesar.
and
So
part of that is I've always thought it was deceptive though, because like the children back then, because their lives were so short, took on adult roles much earlier. And I'm not saying that these weren't actual children. I'm just saying it's not as young then as it sounds to us now.
well, and back then,
I mean, as soon as you started walking, you started working. I
well,
mean,
and if you are, the heir apparent to a throne, you start getting trained for that shit.
Before you can even
When you're like 5.
no, before that.
Well, as early as you're able to understand what's going
Like
on.
Queen Elizabeth, they said there's records of her behaving like a little courtier at 2 years old, bowing and knowing all these and speaking eloquently, and I don't. It seems crazy, but
Yeah.
Mary. Edward was Henry's son that succeeded him, but he only lived to be like 12, and he died. And then that's when they put Lady Jane Grey reigned for like 9 days, because they didn't want, because Henry had done the whole thing where he broke with the Roman Church. It had nothing to do with religion. I mean, the people thought it did, but it didn't.
Right.
But after he died and the son died, they didn't want to go back to papist rule. And Mary, daughter of Catherine Aragon, she was Spanish, and they were devoutly Catholic, and so they knew if she took the throne, she'd try to pull them back into the Vatican.
Right.
And so they kind of overthrew her, put Lady Jane Grey up who was her cousin, for 9 days. Then they deposed her, put Mary in power. Mary had her beheaded. And several times Elizabeth thought Mary was going to have her killed. She did have her imprisoned a lot, like in the Tower. And finally Mary died. They think what killed Mary was actually like stomach cancer, because she kept saying she was pregnant, right? Like her husband looked at her maybe once every 6 years or something, because he was younger than her and supposed to be very attractive, and she was not and old, and probably past childbearing age. But she kept saying she was pregnant, and he was like, well, I did put it in her once, so there's
5 years ago.
Yeah, and
How long do those swimmers live?
and twice that happened, and the pregnancy went way too long.
Just like 28 months pregnant.
Yeah, literally the last time she was.
Oh my God.
And they finally had to go, Your Majesty, I don't know what's in there, but it tain't a baby.
Let me write this down. You open it when I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home, and but yeah, and by the time she finally admitted to herself that she was not pregnant, she was eaten up by cancer.
Yeah.
And then that's when Elizabeth's reign started. When
See,
she died.
but Elizabeth II, you want to beat the longest thing? Fine. It was 43 years, you said?
44.
44. Hit an even 50. And fucking abdicate your throne. Let your heir...
Well, people, when they want to set a record, they want to set a big record.
Well, and I think a lot of it was, okay, she hit the 50. And then they started talking about, the next big milestone and the next celebration. Because, they would plan these things years in advance. And I think she was always, we'll push for one more. And you have to remember, when she did her 50th, and even her 60th, her mother was still alive.
Jesus.
And I'm not talking her birthdays. I'm talking about her years of reign.
Right, right.
Her mother was still alive. Like the Queen Mother only died like 10 years ago. And so I mean
I just think that if I was Charles, maybe around year of reign number 60 or so, I'd have been like, "Hey, Mama, let me talk to you for a minute."
for the things I've read, I'm not sure he wanted it.
I don't think.
Who doesn't want to be the king? That's literally what he was born to
But
do.
when you're already,
Look at his son.
when you're
Which
already
one?
the one that gave it all up, and
Moved to Canada.
I mean,
Yeah,
He's saying
well,
he didn't want it.
yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He did. Okay. He wasn't going to get it.
he was the spare.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the spare.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter, and let me remind
Well, I
everybody
mean, he
that's
could have
listening.
killed his brother, but I mean, he didn't want to do that either.
He could have killed his brother, but his brother already has an heir too, so he still wouldn't have got it.
Well,
But-
they'd all have to have an accident.
That'd be a hell of an
And
accident.
they can't,
But
that's why they don't let them all on planes together.
but they didn't give it all up either. Big old fucking air quotes, because he still walked away from the royal family with about $50 million. So no, he didn't give up shit. No,
You know, it depends. But
he may have given. He gave up a title,
if I'm the Prince
But-
of Wales,
but he's still called the Prince of Wales.
no, he's not.
Are you sure?
They
you
took
sure?
his title.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But he still walked away with like 50
but,
million
but I'm
dollars.
talking about when I say Prince of Wales. Until recently, the Prince of Wales was king, who's now King Charles. If I'm the Prince of Wales and already wield all that power, really moving up to king ain't that big a deal.
Well, yeah, because the other one, the primary, is the Duke of Essex, I think.
No, the
Right.
Duke of Essex. I believe that's what Harry's title was. Because now, what's Harry's brother's name?
William.
William is the Prince of Wales now. The Prince of Wales is always second in line to the throne. Prince or Princess of Wales, however it may be. The titles change because the titles are
It's like a job position.
right, like a hierarchy, like and the Prince of Wales is the VP, and
Okay.
then usually Duke and Duchess, those are direct people that have a direct path to the throne. But I mean, I just don't think, because everything I've read about Charles, he doesn't seem to be a very ambitious, I think
Well, I can tell you there's something wrong with him.
he wanted to be her tampon.
Yeah.
What?
Have y'all not heard that?
Oh, I guess not. Maybe that's why the fucking portrait's red.
Well, I mean, do you remember?
Yo, God, yes, there were jokes about that this in the last
Do you
week.
remember
That makes a lot of
Di?
sense
She
now
was
that the portrait's red.
I don't know what kind of breed of dog that other one is.
Oh, now you have to understand. Okay, Camilla,
It's ugly as
he
hell.
and Camilla had been friends from kids. They fell in love very young, but the queen didn't want him to marry Camilla because she didn't have the right lineage. And
Clearly.
Well, I'm sure she loved the shit out of Kate Middleton then,
and
and the other one, Meghan Markle.
but Diana was a Spencer, and the Spencers, they go way back, high in power. And they're this, like Diana, if you go through her family tree, she's as royal as Elizabeth and Charles and all of those. They go they can trace all the way back to Elizabeth I and all that. So, but they didn't. Camilla and Charles were deeply in love as teenagers. They wouldn't let them be together, and so Camilla married that captain in the army, Parker Bowles, and he married Diana, and we saw how that.
Yeah, they had Diana killed.
Well, and there was a big scandal.
Well, the number 2, the one that gave up his title. Which one is that? That's William, right?
No.
That's Harry?
Harry, yeah.
Ooh,
It's
Harry
just like
ain't-
that soccer player.
Harry ain't Charles' son.
I don't believe that.
Really?
I don't.
Oh,
Have you seen the soccer player? They look identical.
yeah. You need to look at that because there is
Trust
no way.
me when I tell you there was DNA tests done.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. My God.
Well, you don't know.
But don't you think they would have hidden that
I
if
think
it turned
so.
out?
Oh yeah, they would have hidden it, but there would have been been ways I think that it would have been known by
You mean by the fact that the brothers don't look alike at all?
well, me and my brother don't look alike. Me and my sister don't look alike at all.
Yeah, you
We
and your
have a
sister.
parent in common. Goddamn.
Yeah, but Harry and William, according to the official narrative, have the same parents.
Then how do you explain Dylan and Austin?
Dun dun dun. What was Brandy
How do you
doing?
explain Dylan and
I
Austin?
mean, they have the same parents, and they couldn't be more different.
So you claim.
But anyway, the tampon thing. So this is when he was having the affair, and it was when Diana was starting to realize, because she was just a baby when she married him, and real sheltered, and she was starting to realize he's fucking around with her, and they're not even being crafty about it.
No.
And so somebody bugged a phone call, and Charles was on the phone.
Oh, I bet somebody got a whooping for that.
Oh, I bet more than that. Charles was on the phone with Camilla, and they were talking, and he was saying they had started talking about how he really didn't like all the politics of being part of the firm, the family. He wanted nothing to do with. All he really wanted to do was be her tampon so he could be in her fanny all day.
Wow.
When they call fanny, like us,
Yeah.
it's butt. For them, it's
Yeah.
and so literally that went out. That was in every newspaper in the world
Yeah.
that he wanted to be her tampon.
I bet that's why his mom lived for so long.
Yeah.
She was
So
like, I'm too fucking embarrassed.
Yeah, you're in timeout
Yeah.
for
No
your
shit,
whole
for
life.
Your whole
Yeah.
life, yeah.
And yeah, no, he really said that. So that was what I thought of when I saw the portrait. He's finally her tampon.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
What?
I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Oh my God.
I had not heard that either.
Oh my God. Sometimes I forget that, y'all were still like when we were just started to be married and stuff, y'all were still like kids in school. And so,
Yeah.
and sometimes like that, it's so glaring.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I'm like,
Yeah, because
oh my
y'all
God.
are like 8 or 10 years older than us.
Yeah. Because it was literally called Tampon Gate.
Jesus H.
It was a huge
Oh, I bet
deal.
it was.
Yeah. And I mean, they had audio and they played the audio for the newspapers and shit.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
Yeah, because when y'all finished high school,
Yeah.
you got married. When I finished high school, I went in the army,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was in basic is when Princess Di died.
okay.
So
Yeah.
So see,
I was in college when that happened.
by that time we had both children, and because I remember where I had my first sinus surgery the week that she died, and because I remember I was in bed, and Mom called me and was like, "Well, because my mom's mom she was a British war bride, and she had come over." They married over in England, and he brought her back, and she was, she loved Princess Di, and she just everything about.
Well, everybody did.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
Except the rest of the royal family.
yeah, but I'm talking. She just she had like one whole like wall of her house was just Windsorville. It was just like, and so Mom was like, because it was right about the time Di and my grandmother died right about the same time, and Mama was talking about, well, maybe they got to meet each other, and, but yeah, I don't know why, like the current, I don't really care, but like Elizabethan era history has always just like, I know stupid amounts about it. I've just always been fascinated by it, you know. I think part of it was the fact that she was a reigning queen, not a queen consort, when women had no rights. But she, you know, she was something. She was, I mean, there was a lot of tragedy about her life, but I really admire the fact that she didn't let anybody put her in a position like, you know, she gave up a lot. You know, they always said that she had her lover's wife killed, but I don't think so. She had breast cancer because if she did it, why didn't she marry him?
Yeah.
And she didn't, because she knew the way shit was set up,
Yep.
the minute she took a husband and he became a king, he outranked her. Mm-hmm. And she was like, bullshit. You know, I don't believe for a minute she was a virgin. Her and Robert Dudley, they were doing the do, but she couldn't let him be her master. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fascinating. I've always read a lot about it. But I mean, I'll sit here and chatter about it, so we need to wrap this up. Because, like, I literally have read millions of pages on this shit. Like, so anybody got anything else?
Where we at?
56 minutes.
That sounds like a good time to call it.
Adios.
Wait, up.
Nope.
What?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.